Wonders shall never end in Nigeria. For this breaking news wey I bring up for una today, so if una hear wetin dey go on for this country, una sef go run comot for the country. So this one that they call backstabbing, according to some people wey know about this matter wey dey go on. So inside this matter, so una go hear am for this video, the analysis wey they give for President TINÜBÜ to go after former President Bühäri and his cronies to probe them, to recover all the money wey they loot and jail the ones where they go fit jail. My country people, this one na backstabbing, na dem dey call am, according to many of them. Good day everyone and welcome back to our YouTube channel, Everyday People's Voice. Yeah, we bring you all the latest news in everything, sports and so on and so forth. If this is your first time coming across our channel, please be so kind to subscribe, like and share our videos. Yeah, we speak the truth and nothing but the truth. So my country people, this video when I want watch, so make una watch and reach the end. Una go see wetin I dey talk. Make it not be like say na me that dey talk am. Make una watch the video to the end. Make una understand am very well. This man wey they call Shehu Sani now analyze the whole matter for us. He say wetin wan happen, so they call am catastrophe, because if to say Bühäri no shake hand with TINÜBÜ, the government for not pass each other. But now TINÜBÜ won't pay Bühäri back by probing and jailing because of the money where they thief. Make una watch the video, make I not waste una time. I go see una after this video. My country people, this matter na serious matter. Una go hear am with una own ear. Watch the video.
Presidency and the speaker race, this minority leadership race as well. All these appointments of the service chiefs, do you feel like representation of the geopolitical zones, which was a very key issue at the beginning of all of this? Do you think that these geopolitical zones are being represented fairly?
First of all, I'm highly impressed with the way and manner in which the Senate president has emerged. When you have a country that has a Muslim president, a Muslim vice president, a Muslim speaker of House of Reps, and a Muslim chief justice of the Federation, what remains is, if you have a Muslim Senate president, all the suspicion, the criticisms, the accusation of an Islamization of Nigeria will simply be indefensible. The government will be at a very tight corner. For them to wriggle their way out is going to be very difficult. So the effort made by the Vice President Kashim Shettima to support Godswill Akpabio, I think it has really saved this country. It has also saved the government. It has also saved the image of the country. We want someone who can perform. We want someone with an experience. But we are still a developing country where people are still attached to their ethnic identity and religious affiliation. And you can't, in this kind of political equation, marginalize or sideline one part of the country or alienate one religion in favor of another. It is simply indefensible to have a country where all the major leaders are being headed by Muslims. That is very wrong. So having Akpabio as the Senate president is one of the best things that should happen to remedy the situation for the next 4 years. And that is a good thing. As far as the service chiefs are concerned, President Bola Tinubu is fair. Unlike the culture in the past, in the last 8 years of Buhari administration, where one part of the country occupies almost all the security apparatus of the state. This is one of the most fairest in the history of Nigeria. You have the chief of naval staff coming from the southeast. You have a chief of air staff coming from another part of the country. Chief of defense staff coming from the north. and then chief of army staff coming from the southwestern part of Nigeria. I mean, that is fair and equitable. And people are wrong to say that that is marginal. There is nothing marginal. That is the right thing to do, and it is done. What we should expect from our security chiefs now is how they can address our security challenges, how they can extinguish the flames of terrorism in the northeastern part of Nigeria, how they can crush bandits in the northwestern part of Nigeria, how they can address security challenges in the middle belt where ethnic killings are still going on, farmers and herders are still killing themselves, what they can do about insecurity in the southeast and even kidnapping in states like Ekiti, Ondo State, the southwestern part of Nigeria, what they can do about stealing of our crude oil in the south, in the coastal region of this country. These are the challenges before them, and they should be able to achieve. And it is also important that the president said it very clear to them that their relevance and continuity in that office is based on their performance. That should be a clear diversion from what has been in the past, where service chiefs will exhaust their tenure in office and then it will be extended and extended while they keep on failing the country and failing the government. So, and on the appointment is fair. The appointment of also George Akume as the SGF of the Federation is in the right direction. And I'm also in support of the appointment of Bajamiela as the Chief of Staff, because Chief of Staff occupies a very important and strategic position. It's a position of thrust, and you need someone you know, someone you have been working for. And what President TINÜBÜ must avoid is former governors who felt entitled. And there is nothing wrong with compensating people who have worked for you, but not to the expense of the country, where people are looking for a place they can retire. The National Assembly today has already become a retiring base for former governors. The Federal Executive Council should not be. That's a very key and important position where competence should be the key. The governors of the states should hands off and allow the president appoints his ministers from those that will work with him. If a president cannot dictate to a governor who will be a commissioner, then a governor should not dictate to a president who should be a minister. If this country works, it is the president. If it fails, it's the president. So that is my view on that.
No, definitely President Bola Tinubu has hit the ground running as he has promised. He has made a number of bold decisions, like removing fuel subsidy, retiring all old service chiefs, disbanding governing boards of several government-owned parastatals, and so many others. However, his bold decisions have also caused a lot of hardship to already weary Nigerians. So how would you advise the president to balance this delicate act of governance?
Well, I'm happy with the decision which President Bola Tinubu has taken. The sacking of the service chiefs, the dissolution of the boards of federal ministries, departments, and agencies, and also the appointments which he has made. These are all positive steps. And as far as the issue of the subsidy is concerned, I'm happy that the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, the government, and also the Labour are discussing on ways to which the issue of palliatives can be addressed. But we also have to be very mindful of this, that whatever reform policy and program the government is taking, it has to take consideration on the suffering and the hardship inflicted on people. We are still a developing country. I know there are people who are rich. I know there are people who have looted. I know there are people who are comfortable. But we are still a poor, developing country with a mass number of people. About 133 million people in our country are said to be poor. And whatever policy and programs you have to take cognizance of the kind of suffering which they will undergo through. About what has happened in the past, the president has to be reminded that the economic crime perpetrated in the last 8 years is not simply about redesigning the Naira. So it's not simply about Emefiele and Bawa. The nation has been plundered. There's a need for Nigerians to see more action. What happens? Let him go after the ministers of the Bühäri administration, probe them, and let's see what has happened there. Let's go after the heads of the MDAs. Let's see what happened there. Let's go after the service chiefs of Bühäri. Let's see what has happened there. The president should also go after the cabal wing of the last government. They need to be probed. It's not only the people that are supposed to be making sacrifices. Government should recover money that has been looted under the last administration. Nobody should be spared. After all, in Brazil today, a former president is on trial. There's nothing wrong with the president going after Bühäri and members of his kitchen cabinet. This is the time to do it. The courage, the boldness to be there. I know TINÜBÜ for a very long time, and I don't know him as a coward, as one who has the courage to stand up and fight. And I believe this is the time for which to demonstrate that. You can see it even online. People who are not in support of him, people who are critical of him, are in support of the action which he has taken. So we will have to continue to press him. He should have nothing to fear. If what he is doing is right, is just, and is in the interest of the future and progress of this country, I should simply move ahead. Let us see the rich also making sacrifices. Let's see the comfortable also making sacrifices, not simply the poor. That is my view on this issue.
Well, as always, former Senator Shehu Hussaini, it's good to have you on the show. Thank you for having this discussion with us, and we hope to have you back.